All right, we are back. This is Andrew and Ashley. We are the owners of Midwest SPL, and this is not a is this a real talk?
No, this isn't a Real Talk,
It's a
but
real
we
talk.
are on 103.
Okay, Real Talk 103. What we got?
No,
What do we
no
got?
rules.
No rules on this?
No rules.
This
This is a
is
fun one.
this is I guess something for us to be excited about. This kind of talks to growth of the organization and where we're headed and where we're at and what we're doing. So I guess I'll let Ashley go ahead and start it off.
Well, we have lots of judges and promoters, and we wanted to take a moment to appreciate them, tell them how much they mean to us, and how much if we did not have our promoters and our judges, then it would be extremely difficult to grow Midwest SPL for us to have enough people to want to come to be in our finals.
Yep.
Because just Andrew and I alone, if we were doing the shows, there wouldn't be a finals because it wouldn't make sense with our amount of shows that we do. Is a large amount of shows, but it's just nothing compared to having
Collectively, with
yes,
everybody involved.
and not even just the shows. I'm telling you, the input that we get
Yeah.
and the ideas that we get from our judges and promoters is just outstanding. Like they're so intelligent and they're so helpful. So it's
So
really nice to have
this
them
is,
on our side.
I guess, basically an enhancement that me and Ashley have been talking about since we came on as the owners of Midwest, and what we've officially decided to do this year is define a difference between what is a promoter and what is a judge, and what we're going to allow from this point forward. So we'll explain kind of the difference between a promoter and a judge. They're two different people. They're not one and the same. A promoter is an individual that has input on rule change and is an officiating entity of Midwest SPL. So they can influence rule decisions. They are part of the rules discussions and rules meetings. They are the ones that are booking the shows, booking the events. They are the ones that are at finals, facilitating finals. They're key individuals of our staff that they'll be wearing shirts like I have on. They're red shirted individuals. Those are the ones that have a little bit of a more authoritative role with Midwest SPL. A judge, the difference there is that is a person that's deemed by us as the organization to run shows. So
Underneath a promoter.
Underneath a promoter, that's correct. So a judge will be allowed to still compete. Promoters are not. That's always been a stance of Midwest SPL, is that if you are a promoter, you cannot compete in our organization because there's a pretty big conflict of interest there. Judges will be allowed to compete. That's the key difference. Judges don't have input on rules, so they're not influencing rule change or development in any way. That is the promoter's role, and obviously that has to be facilitated through me and Ashley. Judges, if they want to book a show, they have to go with whoever their promoter is. So each promoter is tasked with the ability to carry judges under them. We have a couple additions for this year that we'll talk about here in a minute. And also, too, if you're in a region where this may sound like something you would be interested in, reach out to me and Ashley, and we can talk about the guidelines and requirements to being a judge and what that looks like.
And that would also go through the promoter that
in that
is
area
in your
that's
area.
closest to that area. So if you're
that promoter does not feel like they need a judge at the time,
that would be
then
their call.
obviously that would be their call.
Yeah, the other big difference is if you're at an event, so whoever the judge is, let's say they're running their show and they're wanting to compete at said show. All of the judges have been instructed that they have to take last place in any class that they run. They're not going to take a trophy from a competitor that's paying. I don't like that thought process or that idea at all. So that's what we have told judges who want to still compete and be judges. that's what they would have to do. Now, if they were to travel to a show that is either outside of their region or at their promoters level show and attend, and they were not officiating from a judging standpoint, then they could compete in whatever class they want to and get whatever place that they're so deemed. So if they wanted to turn it up, they could turn it up at that point.
Which they are also allowed to go to finals.
Yep.
And compete like normal.
That's right.
The other thing is that our judges are not accumulating points cut.
Right, right. Because the advantage there is that if you're a judge, you're facilitating getting shows to get on the books, and you're running those through the promoter that's over them. Um, they could potentially, I mean, run up a ton of points real quick in a hurry. So they're
So
not eligible for Points Cup. You can't have the best of both worlds there. That just doesn't make sense. So that is a good point because I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The two judges that we have in different regions. Do you want to talk about the promoters? Because we added a couple promoters this year too.
Well, we have our wonderful staff that we've already had. So our promoter Bill,
yep,
and Pippin, and Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan was new last year.
Yep.
And
so this will be his second season with us.
Very good ad, for sure. Yeah, we're very thankful that we added him on. So we've got Bill, Ryan, and Pippin, and then this year we've added Raymond and Devin.
Yep. And Raymond is in the Arkansas region, and going a little bit more east, if he can facilitate that. And then Devin is taking over the state of Kansas, so he'll be doing like Wichita, and I think there's some shows up around Kansas City and stuff like that. And he'd mentioned another state to me, but I can't remember what it is now. But I know he's doing shows in Wichita, so he'll be heading that up. He's the new promoter for those areas. And then we have two judges. One is under Bill Gass, so that's Tim Jones. He is a judge. And then another one that we have is under Pippin, and that is Dustin. So you guys will know Dustin. He has the Bay Harbor Butcher build. That's a S10 it's a very themed build. So he'll be running shows.
By the way, that's one of my favorite TV shows, Dexter.
Yeah.
If I get a puppy, I think I want to name him Dexter. You should let me get a puppy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're very excited though.
I mean, that's a pretty big expansion for Midwest. I want to say it's probably the most helping hands we've had from a show standpoint ever. So we've got several promoters now. We've got a couple judges. We've got that lined out. We have criteria set. So, yep.
I be doing stuff too.
Yeah.
I make cookies. That's about it.
Actually, you're an owner, so I mean that's different. It's different.
No. I be promoting stuff.
Different. But anyways, questions or comments, leave them in below under this video, and
or
also
personal message,
call, message, Facebook. There's a bunch of ways. Email. If you're interested in being a judge, hit us up.
I also wanted to state that any shows that Andrew and I personally have already booked and have already been taking place of, we will be hosting those shows. Those aren't going to someone else.
That is a good point. So we did have a recent retailer that got a little confused, and
I hate that.
Yeah, and so we want to make it clear that any show that me and Ashley personally, we can speak to us. I have a good understanding of what our other promoters do, but circumstances happen in any situation. But if for any reason, a show that we have scheduled, if me or Ashley cannot do it, and we would need to involve like someone like say Ray, because he's close to our area, we would communicate that directly with the retailer before we even reached out to Ray. We would say, hey, we have an issue coming up on such and such show date. Are you okay with another promoter doing this show? And
would you like us to?
Yeah, and if the answer is no, then we'll just reschedule the event. Right. But if the answer is yes, then we'll communicate that with him, and we would say, hey,
check with Raymond and see
we have a show that we can't make. We've already ran it by the retailer. They're okay with you running it. Are you good? Do you have this available? So there'd be logistical sides of it for us for scheduling, but we wouldn't.
Hopefully that never happens.
Yeah, I think the said retailers saw that we were adding promoters and thought that they were replacing us, and that's not. These are additions too. We're expanding.
Yes.
We're expanding. So these are good things.
I love our shows. Like the places that we go, there's a few that we're not going to be able to go to, but that's already been handled. But for the most part, like if Andrew and I have called you and already booked shows, then that's who you have. It's Andrew and Ashley.
Yep.
We are really excited to have Devin in Kansas though, because that gets us more shows that direction, and that actually pushes kind of the people that are in Oklahoma will be closer to being able to go to Kansas.
I'm really excited too for Dustin coming on as a judge, because that's going to add a new kind of dynamic to what we're trying to accomplish. So.
And that'll help Pippin out a lot too, because Pippin has a lot of shows.
He has a bunch of shows in Missouri.
Yes, and so
and Missouri's always been kind of like our headquarters, so to speak, for membership, for overall growth of the organization. Which, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. We've always held finals in Missouri, even this year's finals, which we'll get into a separate video about that. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what 2026 is going to bring, and this is our 19th season as an organization. So,
and we're also really excited about Raymond and his wife Leah, being able to help us out too, because Andrew's job career dynamic has changed a little bit on his hours, and so it's just going to be.
It's going to free up some more family time for me and Ashley, which is good. And the number of shows won't decrease, which is a plus. That was a concern for me, was making sure we offer enough for the competitors, for all of you watching these videos, that you have an adequate of opportunity to get points, accumulate show quantity, and test your vehicles. Because during the season, that's when you really want to push the limits to give you time to rebuild or time to try different things before you get to finals, and you really got to run the marathon and the gauntlet of finals. I mean, it is a lot of work to win one class at finals. And the new competitors watching this video, I'm telling you, Midwest is like no other organization you've probably ever competed in. So I can speak to that because I've competed in all of them, and it's a lot of work to get the W. It's not easy because of how many times you've got to run to get to number one. But anyways, we will wrap this video up, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Bye.
Thanks to Andrew McCullough, I'm here live and live in color, and I'm here to inform you that these songs beat like no other. Man, your bill's so clean, I need to know who's your installer.